Hello, welcome back, campers and boaters. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan McLeister, Chief of Recreation for MWCD. We're extremely excited to have you with us for this presentation and actually for the start of the 2023 season. You'll be hearing from myself and some other MWCD staff in this presentation. We'll be discussing law enforcement, programs and events, campground rules, and upcoming projects you might see in the campgrounds. Before I get started, though, I wanted to say we will have a Q&A time at the end of the presentation. If you have anything you'd like to ask us, feel free to do so in the chat that's available on this call. But with that said, let's get started. We have a lot happening within the district for 2023, everything from capital projects to facility improvements, trail development and maintenance, all the way to special events. I would encourage you to check out our website, www.mwcd.org, for updated event and program schedules, plus important updates and information about our parks and marinas. Speaking of our parks and marinas, I'd like to share with all of you, our campgrounds are nearing capacity this season for seasonal lots. That's great news. So if you are interested, or you know someone that is still interested in actually trying to obtain a seasonal lot, please make sure you reach out to one of your parks soon to get that spot if you can. If seasonal lots are not your thing, we have many other opportunities within the districts for what we like to call unique retreats. These retreats can be your typical transient RV lots, which we offer daily and monthly rates for. It could also be one of our numerous cabins at one of our parks. We have newly built cabins at Pleasant Hill with hot tubs. They're very well attended and they're beautiful. If you have a chance, I would highly recommend checking those out and staying with us at one of those cabins. Or you could try two of our new programs this summer. One is a rental RV. We actually have a partnership with General RV out of North Canton, Ohio. We're going to have a couple RVs within the campground of Atwood. And if you do not currently own an RV, it gives you an opportunity to get out into the park and experience an RV type style retreat with us before you really jump feet first into purchasing one on your own. So we really are excited about that program, and hopefully it's something you'll see throughout the district in the upcoming years. The other program that we're excited to announce for a unique retreat is Rent a Tent. A lot of times people don't even go out and purchase tents, or they're a little tentative to do so. We're actually going to have an opportunity for people to rent a tent from us with some equipment and do some primitive camping within our campground at Pleasant Hill. Those two programs will be out on our website here soon, live for the season. So I definitely encourage you to check those out, or please pass on to your family and friends to do the same. With that said, we invite you to come rediscover the outdoors with us this summer at a park or marina near you. At this time, I'd like to pass it over to Craig Butler. He's our Executive Director, for a few words.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Ryan, very much. Love the presentation. We just want to welcome all of you back. Many of you are returning customers, seasonal campers. So we want to thank you for coming back and continuing to enjoy our campgrounds, which we are very, very proud of. For any of you that are new, welcome. And we hope you have a great experience with us. I just talk about a couple of things at a very high level. You know, we're an organization that recreation is one of the strong pillars that we work on, but we also have a mission of flood mitigation and conservation. And in the last year, we spent a good amount of effort updating our strategic plan around the ideas of flood mitigation, recreation, and conservation, and really what that means for us through the year 2028, believe it or not. It's really our guidepost that we use to how do we continue to improve our experience for you all as campers, for people that experience the work within the Conservancy. And for new for us this year is really our focus on conservation. You're going to see some efforts that you haven't seen before if you've been with us in the past around how do we integrate conservation into our park environments? How do we incorporate recycling and other efforts like that? So I think that's really a step forward for us as an organization. But ultimately, we want you to come, and as Ryan said, we want you to experience what we do at MWCD. We want you to have a great experience over the summer. This is the first time we've ever done something like this, is just to introduce ourselves to you all at the beginning of the season. We know how anxious you are to come and enjoy the camping experience. Couple of updates from me. I think that in addition to the strategic plan, we had a retirement this year of our chief ranger, John Maxey, who served us well for a number of years. And we wish John well in his retirement, but we've also been able to really bring on a really special individual, Patrick Brockmeyer. I'll introduce you to PJ in a minute. And, we look at law enforcement in a way of community policing. And, at first we try to, assist our campers. We know we have several hundreds, if not thousands, of people camping with us. And frankly, we can have any number of law enforcement issues, but our first and primary interest is making sure that you have a safe and happy experience with us. PJ shares that experience, and we're very happy to see him join our staff. He's a long experienced law enforcement officer, teacher, mentor of children, mentor of law enforcement officers. And so we're very pleased to have him join us. And so let me share the screen with PJ, and PJ, go ahead and introduce yourself to the group, but with my thanks for you joining the organization.
Well, I certainly appreciate all the kind words. Hello, everyone. I'm Patrick Brockmeyer. As Craig said, I'm the new Chief Ranger here at the Muskingum Watershed. I do bring 32 years of law enforcement experience with me. I've been born and raised right here in Marietta, Ohio. I graduated from Ohio, the Ohio Peace Officer Basic Training at Hocking College. I'm also a graduate of Washington State and Marietta College. And I've been a variable ranger for the last 4 years. I am fortunate enough that I inherited a very professional, dedicated supervisory ranger staff and supervisory staff. They are here to meet your needs and provide you a service. So I do want you to understand that. I would also like to take just a moment here to tell you about a new program. It's called Coffee with the Chief. The dates and locations are going to be on our website and our social media. I will be coming to our local parks and marinas where you can come down, introduce yourself to me, meet me in person, share a cup of coffee with me. I will try to answer any questions about the ranger staff. I'd be happy to discuss thoughts, and I just really look forward to meeting each and every one of you. I appreciate having a few minutes here, and just once again, I just want to say welcome back, campers and boaters, and I look forward to seeing you over the summer.
My name is Adria Bergeron, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District. So I just want to talk briefly about a few exciting events that we have coming up this season. I'm going to start off with just saying we have fireworks scheduled for the 4th of July season at Atwood, Charles Mill, Seneca, and Tappan. Those are all going to be on Saturday, July 1st this year. For Christmas in July at Pleasant Hill, that will be on Saturday, July 15th. But as you may have noticed, if you follow us on social media, we have provided a variety of activities and events that are district-wide, and we are trying to make them more year-round. So whether they were winter hikes that we've offered, or some of the things you've seen over the last couple of years with our kayak programs, we have day camps, live music throughout the summer. So a lot of great programs that you have known to love and keep coming back to. Additionally, I just want to let you know some ways that you can find out all of the great information that we have going on, which is to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow us on our website, which is mwcd.org. And if you go on our website, right underneath the image on the main screen, you can see a link that says subscribe to our newsletter. That is a way to get the most up-to-date information as far as Lakeview's newsletter that we publish. We publish that both by mail and through email. If you want it by mail, you just need to let us know. We also have the option for you to sign up for notifications on our website. The notifications are more for emergency in nature. So obviously we want to let you know about weather or health and safety concerns. So the sign up for notifications is going to be more of the automatic information that you might receive about weather updates that you need to be aware of. But you can also sign up for that newsletter, which is going to be more of the events and activities and information that we want to share with you throughout the year. So lots of ways to join us, and we invite you to come out to all of our locations, and we look forward to seeing you this summer. I am going to pass it over back to Ryan.
Thank you, Adria. So now off to the fun stuff, which are campground rules. We're going to go into a few campground rules we want to share with you, some reminders and some updates to the existing campground rules. The first thing you'll probably notice if and when you review the campground rules this year, there is a new format. We decided to go with a new format to make it a little more user-friendly for everyone, including ourselves. And yourself. We wanted to clean up some of the language, which might have been outdated. Ohio Revised Code, take a look at that again, make sure that we have everything implemented that we needed within the campground rules. So what I would like to do with the team here is sort of just highlight a few that we really want you to know about and really think about as we move into this 2023 season. The first one is pet friendly is now at all parks. We have allowed pets at parks before. Craig's really happy about this one, as you can see, but well, it is something that we talk long and hard about internally, and you know, we are pet friendly, like I said, at the majority of our parks in the areas, but we are going pet friendly in all parks in all areas that are permitted. So be on the lookout for that. But with that in mind, a couple of highlights for this. All pets must be confided into their camping area, or they need to be kept on a leash that is handheld or attached to a structure on your premises. Also, the leash, if you are going to walk your dog throughout the park, the leash should enable the user to maintain the pet within a 6-foot distance from the owner. You know, sometimes there's retractable leashes, there's the permanent leashes, but you need to make sure we're keeping it at a 6 foot from the owner. And then we ask that you have some type of a tethering system on your premises if you have your dog outside. Owners are responsible for the actions of their pets. And obviously the big one, owners must clean up after their animals on their campsite. We're asking at least daily if you could get that done, and we will have, you'll probably see some extra collection bags throughout the park as we move into this new phase. But again, just be smart about it and enjoy it. And we ask that you definitely do your due diligence with cleaning up. We do reserve the right to ask for proof of rabies shots and other descriptions of the animal if we so choose. It is sometimes required by the local county health department that we're in. So you need to be prepared if park officials or park rangers ask you for that to present that. With the pet friendly, I want to just have a reminder about family friendly. We do consider ourselves family friendly throughout our parks and marinas. So with that, the two rules we really want to just emphasize tonight: quiet hours. Quiet hours, we want everyone to come and have a good time, have fun, enjoy the great outdoors, enjoy all the amenities we have to offer, and you know, have fun with your family and your neighbors in the community that you're at, the park you're at. But we do ask that you continue to maintain those quiet hours from 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. Bottom line, just be considerate of others around you. I know we all like to have a good time, and we do encourage that, but just be considerate that not everyone is maybe staying out at their campsite past 11, and we just want you to really Make sure as you're doing your evening hours that you're aware of others in the area. Minors must be at their campsite during these hours unless accompanied by an adult. And I'm sure PJ and his park rangers will be looking for any loud or abusive behavior. We just want to reiterate that we will not tolerate it. And if it gets to a point, there could be dismissal or removal from the property. So to me, again, it's just being smart and being courteous to others as best as possible. We have found, alcohol can play into this at times. Again, I'm asking, along with the staff and the park rangers and law enforcement, be smart about it. No person shall overtly and publicly consume or display the presence of any beer or intoxicating liquor. We obviously want to make sure everyone is safe. Again, having a good time, but make sure that as you're doing this and alcohol is present, that it's not overtly or in sight of people, obviously within the campground. So if we can maintain those two campground rules, I'm sure we'll have a successful season with limited interaction from law enforcement and maintaining that family-friendly environment that we all love. Another one that to bring up, modifications or improvements to a lot. You need to make sure anything you want to do on your lot, if you are a seasonal camper, that you are getting prior approval from your park manager. If ever in doubt, if you ever have a question or you're unsure about something you might be doing or trying to get accomplished on your lot, please go see the park managers. Obviously, taking down shrubs, trees, putting up billboards, things of that nature. You need to make sure you're following the campground rules and talking to park managers as needed. We actually changed some verbiage, as I said, and you'll see that we have some definitions in the front of the campground rules, which sort of actually give you an opportunity to maybe get a better understanding of some of the verbiage we have in the campground rules. And the one that we thought was pretty interesting this year is we sort of changed our bicycles and e-bikes and skateboards and roller blades, and we called it individual motorized vehicles. So you'll see this section, it's sort of a new section with verbiage, but it includes pretty much all of those, the bicycles, the e-bikes, which obviously is becoming more popular, low speed micro-mobility devices. We have a definition for that, believe it or not. It's actually an Ohio Revised Code. Skateboards, rollerblades. These are all things that we need to be aware of as we go about our day with camping. We do permit these. We ask that you follow any type of safety precautions. We ask that in evening hours that you're following Ohio Revision Code, making sure you have lights, rear reflector, making sure you have some type of a headlight, and anything else otherwise allowed by Ohio law. Just keep that in mind. Lastly, with the campground rules, as you go through it, I welcome any of you to reach out to either any of us at the main office in New Philadelphia or your park manager if you have any questions or are confused about any of the campground rules. Like I said, not much has changed other than the format and some cleaning up of the verbiage, but the pet-friendly one was one we definitely wanted to point out tonight to all of you. So again, be on the lookout for that. Next up, I would like to talk about some promotions that we have happening within the district that we're really excited about. The first one, it's actually something we've done for about 2 years now. It's called PMAC. It's our Park and Marina Advisory Committee. We actually have, if you're not aware, we have two reps from each park and marina who sit on an advisory committee. We meet once a quarter, and we have some good reflection, some good dialogue and discussion on things happening within their campgrounds or marinas. We keep them attuned to what's going on with projects and any issues we might be experiencing in those parks. And what we're looking at doing is making sure we have those individuals on our website. And if you might know them, you can feel free to approach them in your campground. They are advocates for us and pretty much our eyes and ears in the parks. So feel free to reach out to your PMAC representative, your park manager can actually steer you in that direction if needed. And just so you all know, they are a 2-year term, and we're always looking for volunteers to potentially serve in the future on the advisory committee. So if that's something that interests you, let your park manager know, or feel free to shoot us an email at the main office. The next promotion I'm really excited about, we coined it, Capture the Canvas. So if you really look at those words, it's a play on words with a trail promotion that we're doing in 4 of our parks right now. The essence of the program is we have partnered with local school districts in the area to print or to paint canvases for us that we will hide in the woods in our park on a trail for people to get out and try to capture the canvas. With capturing the canvas, we ask you to take a selfie with the picture as you find it. We will have a website and a landing page for you to upload that selfie of the canvas that you found it, and you would be entered into a drawing to win $1,000 at the end of the season. Every time you enter, the more chances you get to win. If you visit all 4 parks, you get 5 extra entries to this potential grand prize of $1,000. Encino Energy is sponsoring this with us, and we're really excited. We're going to have other prizes, other opportunities, and cool things to really get people out on the trails and enjoy nature and all we have to offer in the parks. So again, it's called Capture the Canvas. Be on the lookout for it. It's at Seneca, Tappan, Atwood, and Charles Mill. So we're really excited about that one. Another promotion program that we're doing, you might have seen at Atwood. If you visited us last year, we have bike rentals now. We're actually going to put them into other parks and have the opportunity for you to rent bikes this season at 5 of our parks. So the bike rental program was really strong for us at Atwood, and we look for continued success at the other parks. We also are going to pilot a golf cart rental program. Here We Go Golf Carts is going to participate this season at Pleasant Hill, and they are going to try to extend out to Charles Mill. So right now, those 2 parks will have an opportunity to potentially rent golf carts if you so choose during your stay. And hopefully with the success of that program, we will look at bringing them to other parks in the future as well. So bike and golf cart rentals are an exciting part for us this season. Last one I want to point out, I sort of talked about it earlier in the presentation, but the unique retreats. This is something, as Craig mentioned, in our strategic plan, we will be looking to really explore other options in camping and hospitality within our district. Obviously, right now, RV camping is huge for us. Primitive camping, we do get some users. Cabin rentals are a nice area for us as well too, but we're really going to look at the general RV rentals that we have, the rent-a-tent for primitive camping and glamping. You might have heard us talk about this before in the past, but we're really ramping that up this season in hopes of breaking ground for some glamping destinations in the upcoming season. So we're really looking forward to these unique retreats as we continue to progress in the strategic planning into the 23-24 season. So be on the lookout for those opportunities. Last subject I have for the night before we head into our question and answers session is projects. A lot of you really enjoy hearing about upcoming projects, especially if it's a park that you frequent a lot with us. I'm going to give you some high-level information on projects that you might see in the campgrounds. Obviously, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit or other projects that we do accomplish throughout the seasons, and we do post most of those on our website. So feel free to check back on the website to look at some of the projects. But some of the high-level ones I wanted to discuss tonight at Atwood. We have the Atwood Activity Center is going to get some TLC this season. You're going to see some construction going on at the Atwood Activity Center. We are going to renovate that building, bring it up to the 2023 standards that we're starting to see throughout the parks. So it'll be pretty much a refurbished facility. The Camp Store will get refurbished. The interior section will have a nice new feel to it, and the Nature Center as well will get some tender loving care as well. At Clendening, we do have a wastewater treatment plant that's going in, along with discussion of a new marina and site improvements at Clendening. We're really excited to hopefully break ground in the next couple of years with a new marina at Clendening. So if you're over there, be on the lookout for some construction at Clendening. Over at Leesville, we do have a North Fork wastewater treatment plant project that we are 90% plans have been received. We're going to hopefully move forward with that here soon, as well as a new restroom and shower building over in North Fork as well. Piedmont, right now we have at the public launch ramp over at Reynolds Road, we have some parking lot improvements and improvements to the ramp area. Pleasant Hill, Area G, right across sort of from the activity center, we have some great amenities going in. A lot of sports courts, opportunities for children and adults to go over and be active during the summer months with those activities. We have some viewing shed areas with benches and swings and fire pits that'll overlook the beach area. So we're really excited for some of the amenities at Pleasant Hill. Seneca Lake Park, we do have amenities going in. We're looking at both Parkside and potentially Marina Point side. The big one at Parkside for Seneca is some more sports courts and some water features, particularly a splash pad in that area right by the beach concession area. So be on the lookout for those amenities at Seneca. Tappan, this is a real big one for us, and we're extremely excited about this one, a new welcome center. Long overdue. We will be breaking ground hopefully soon for the Tappan Welcome Center. You will see that construction for probably almost a year. Probably we're hoping to get it in the season for next year, and beach restroom concession building updates as well. Tappan Marina, I will tell you, we do have a generator that we're looking to purchase, but obviously with the supply chain, it's about 52 weeks out. So believe it or not, for us to get something of that magnitude is definitely out. So last thing I want to say for Tappan is Area 4. Those of you that might be in that area of Area 4, or if you're a transient and you visit that area throughout the years, we are aware that updates are needed, especially with electric. We are in discussion right now and getting some estimates and trying to figure out a game plan for Area 4, but we wanted to make sure we let you know that we hear you and we recognize it. I know there's some other campgrounds, even over at Charles Mill with Eagle Point, and even at Atwood with the Peninsula area. We are looking at trying to almost call it a phase 3 that we're trying to really prioritize some of the issues we feel like we need to address. So be on the lookout for those, and we will be reaching out to all of you for some input on that. That's pretty much what I have for promotions and projects. I think at this time, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. If you have any, you should be able to go into our chat here, and Adria will sort of read the question if it comes in, and then point it to the correct person on our chat.
Okay, we do have a couple of questions. I'm going to put Craig back up on the screen for our first one. The question is, have you ever given thought to extending quiet time until midnight on the weekends?
Yeah, very good question. We had a long discussion around this issue around quiet hours in the past this winter. We decided to leave it at 11 throughout both the week and the weekend, really just to be mindful that we're We try to be, and we continue to desire to be a family operation. We have a lot of families. We got a lot of young children. We know people like to come and let their hair down, so to speak, and have a good time. And we understand it. We encourage it as long as you do it the right way. But at the end of the day, in consultation with our law enforcement folks and park managers, we decided to leave it at 11 o'clock. And, you know, that doesn't mean that you can't be up and out and doing things past 11, but we just ask you to be mindful of your neighbors relative to being a little quieter than you may be during the rest of the day.
Okay, and with that note, we also had a comment about someone also just mentioned that they do work and stay at the campground during the week, so they do appreciate the quiet hours. So we do have to remember that we have a variety of users that come to the park, so trying to kind of please a variety of audiences. But I'm going to introduce a different team member of ours that hasn't spoken yet. His name's Eric Steckschulte, and he oversees some of the master plan projects that we have. The question for him is, pickleball has grown in popularity 158% over the past 3 years. Is there discussion about pickleball courts at Seneca?
Yes, so that has come up, and actually that is in the plan to put two pickleball courts down by the beach there, along with a basketball court. So we are aware that it is a very popular sport, and Atwood already has some, and Pleasant Hill we're constructing right now. So we are aware, and we have heard you. So we are putting those in.
Okay, I'm going to pass it back to Ryan for the next question. The question for Ryan is the Woe Zone returning to Atwood?
Yes, great question. So it is returning, and it is going to be actually the water toys. Those of you that are familiar with Atwood and Pleasant Hill. However, it's not going to be called Woe Zone this year. We do have some new vendors who will be operating those water toys. So they plan on being open Memorial Day to Labor Day, and potentially, if weather permits, maybe a little longer than Labor Day. We're really excited to have them, and you'll be seeing them probably set up shop here. I would say by mid-May, you'll start seeing those water toys go into those two parks. They will be doing food and beverage concession opportunities there as well. So we're extremely excited to have them. And the name they're going with is Land's Edge Beach Club. So those will be the new water inflatable toys you'll see at Atwood and Pleasant Hill.
Okay, thank you. Our next question I'm going to send to Craig. The question is, are you putting Wi-Fi in the campgrounds?
That's our perennial question, and it's something that we work on literally every day. The answer is we're hopeful. We've met with, I can't think of the number of vendors that have approached us and said, we have your answer. And when we meet with them, they don't have an answer. Having said that, we're actually holding a summit. We're bringing in many of the wireless companies just to say, how do we get this done at our most prolific parks? How do we bring it to Atwood? How do we bring it to Tappan? How do we bring it to Seneca? So I'm hopeful that we get there. We know it's going to cost a lot of money. It could cost upwards in the millions of dollars to bring Wi-Fi into the parks. And so understand and recognize that, one, that we are working on it. Two, we know there's a huge demand, and we know that it's an amenity that you ask and demand of us, like full hookup campers and like concrete pads and like 50 amp service. This is just one that we're not going to give up on, and we will eventually crack the code. It's just taken longer than anybody would wish. And you hear my dogs in the background; they concur that it's just taken taken longer than anybody would actually think that it would take. But it's partly related just to what is the most important thing we have, which is we are remote, and then we also have some really geographic challenges, particularly at Tappan. So how do you bring the Wi-Fi signal into each one of those little valleys and be able to do that in a way that doesn't disrupt the landscape, the view shed, and doesn't cost something that we can't support and be able to supply to our customers. So long story short, we know this is probably, outside of amenities that Ryan talked about, this is likely the number one issue. We don't take it lightly. We're willing to spend a lot of money to make it work. We just haven't found the right number of folks to be able to help us get it done, but we think we're getting close.
Craig, while I have you on here, there is a comment back that says Campfire Connect works great in the state parks for that. So something we can explore. Also, real quick.
Let me just touch on that one. So we have, oh, good Lord.
You're muted.
We have done some recent outreach to the Campfire folks, and so we think that they have one option for us. We think we have a local option that may work as well. And so again, we're lifting up the rocks and figuring out how many options that we have, but we'll find it. We'll find it eventually.
Okay, I'm gonna hand it over to Aaron Stumpf really quick. Aaron is our Deputy Chief of Parks and Marinas. One question for Aaron is, are we getting lifeguards back at the parks?
We will not be getting the lifeguards. Where we have the Land's Edge, the water toys, we will have lifeguards. Those will go through the vendor themselves. But as far as Tappan and Seneca, they will not be getting their lifeguards back this summer. And it will be swim at your own risks. Part of the issues that we've had with those is finding those lifeguards. That's been a consistent challenge. And again, if we want to have lifeguards down there, there's certain regulations that we have to have so many of them. And that's very difficult for us to do in our remote locations. So it has been decided that we do not have lifeguards at those two locations.
And that also speaks to, we will not have, there's a comment about inflatables at Tappan, which at this time we will not have inflatables back at Tappan. That kind of speaks to the lifeguard issues that we're having. If we can get a vendor to operate a water, inflatable water operation down there, we would do that as well. But at this time, we do not have a vendor to do that. Okay. There is another question. I think I'm going to hand it back to Craig. The question is there a discussion about metering electric?
The answer would be yes. And so a couple of things, just to give everybody some context. Last year, the cost of our electric went up over 20%. And we were able to continue to pay those bills. What we have done in the immediate future is we're working with a company to come in and build some solar facilities across the district, and then enter into some power purchase agreements that we think in the long term will help drop our overall electricity cost, as well as our carbon footprint, as well as be able to show that we're providing different sources of electricity. So those are all really good things. You know, the one thing that I think we have a general concern about, and we'd like to do some education to our seasonal campers about, is just what the cost of electricity is and how that incorporates itself into what our seasonal rate increases are. It's one of our biggest expenses. And so the fact that we know some, not all, that some of our seasonal campers will leave their air conditioners on when they're not there during the week, perhaps to cut the usage of electricity and energy used by the refrigerators and other appliances, or just for a convenience. We'd prefer they not do that, just because that presents a huge expense to us. And so in some cases, we do have the ability, and we're looking for the ability in the future at some point to potentially monitor electric usage on an individual lot basis, and if needed, perhaps provide a surcharge to some seasonal campers and others that would use more electricity on an average basis than others. But it's all very preliminary, but it's just a function. It's an issue that we have to explore.
Okay, Craig, while I still have it on you, there's a question that, speaking of concrete and 50 amp connections, are there plans to continue the expansion into other areas of the parks, or is the main renovation completed?
Good question. So we've completed phase 1. That was the major renovation portion. Phase 2 is generally, as Ryan talked a lot about today, the amenities phase, where we're bringing in, pickleball courts, splash pads, basketball, and Eric talked about that as well. We're already looking into phase 3 and phase 4. We know we have some areas like Eagle Point at Charles Mill, particularly at Tappan and Area 4, the point out at Atwood, where we have not upgraded those facilities. And so we're continuing to look at those for, into the next phase. We're also thinking about perhaps how do we do those renovations differently. Our focus now is as much on conservation as recreation. So some of you have said you love what we've done in the current park environment. Others have said you didn't like it. You got too much concrete, not enough trees. We're trying to take that messaging back and come up with a new design. How do we have keep as many trees as possible? How do we build some other ecological functions like impervious pavement, those kinds of things that keep the look and feel of those areas, but also upgrade the electric, upgrade the wastewater, upgrade the shower facilities, but also give you a more environmental or rustic feel to what we may have in the renovation. So that's the challenge that we've laid in front of the architects that we're working with. We're waiting to see what they come back with so we can get moving as quickly as possible.
I have a question for PJ, our chief. It is, does the chief like coffee black or with creamer?
Well, I like that question. That's pretty easy. I like it black. So
Okay.
That's pretty easy question.
Good to know.
That's a
Also,
requirement
there's
of
a
a police officer.
there is a comment about 4th of July events, and yes, keep an eye out on our social media, and you can always inquire at the park or marina office itself as to what activities and events will be taking place around that holiday weekend. Let me see. There also is the question, are there plans for another shower house at Clendening Lake? Which, not at this time, but we have some projects that are coming up at Clendening, so we will continue to address those issues as we do some projects at Clendening. Another question as it pertains to Tappan, Craig, if you want me to pass this on to someone else, let me know. But are you going to add recreation opportunities at Tappan, such as basketball, pickleball, or tennis?
Yeah, I'll hand that off to Ryan or Eric, but I would say the answer is yes. We've got some major construction projects, and I'll just suggest that you're really going to like what you see with the new welcome facility. If you've been to Atwood and you've driven in and you see the kind of the splendor of the welcome center there, it'll be very reminiscent of that. But we also have some opportunities and plans and money set aside once that's done to bring some other amenities into the park. So let me hand it off to perhaps Ryan. Why don't Ryan take that one? If you give it a second. Hold on.
I got Eric in the queue here, so I'm going to
All
have
right, so
Eric.
Eric, let Eric take that.
So yes, we do have plans to bring pickleball and new basketball court to Tappan. We can't do it quite yet because it will go in the same general area, but when we're doing construction on the Welcome Center, a lot of that laydown area for the construction will happen in that area. So look for that coming right after the Welcome Center is complete.
Adria, you may want to hand it to Ryan to let him talk about the pump track.
Okay.
Yeah, so another amenity we're looking at potentially at Tappan is a pump track for bikes. We have a group at Tappan who's very supportive of this and have even done some fundraising in the past for a potential pump track at Tappan. We've already had some internal meetings regarding that and the placement. We also would like to consider some mountain bike trails in the Tappan area as well too. So it sort of will tie both amenities together, the pump track with people that want to do some downhill mountain biking as well. So that's something I think that's pretty realistically in the plans for us. And I'm hoping within the next year or so that will be an amenity there at Tappan with a pump track and potential mountain bike trails.
There's one additional question about adding a dog beach at Tappan, and I'm going to hand it over to Aaron Stump really quick on that. We have consistently seen some questions about dogs and swimming in the beach areas, so I'll let Aaron kind of cover how that works.
The dogs and beaches kind of get to be a little sticking point due to health violations and regulations. When you have any kind of concession stands at the beach, they are very strict with the dogs that can be on there, which gets really frustrating sometimes because we know we have some geese at our beaches too. So those are currently some other items that we are currently looking into in our amenity phase. We have created kind of a dog park, not on our beach, but at a couple of our facilities. And again, having that ability to give your dog a nice fresh swim on a daily basis is kind of a neat idea. But like I said, we don't have anything formally in place at this time, but it's definitely something we're looking forward to possibly doing in our amenities phase.
Okay. I think I have covered all of the questions. So I will go ahead and close this out. I do want to thank everyone who participated in tonight's event. This was a great interaction. We love being able to answer questions and kind of talk to you and share with you what we have coming up. As always, wherever it is that you like to enjoy our campgrounds or our parks, please always feel free to stop in and talk to our park staff. Let them know if you have any questions. Our executive director, Craig, or Ryan, they are always open as well. So if you have any questions at any time, feel free to let them know, reach out to them directly, or an easy way to get a hold of us is an email to remember is info@mwcd.org. If you have any questions at any time, you can shoot an email that way and we will get that to the appropriate person. So thank you again for attending tonight, for participating, and we look forward to seeing you out at our campgrounds and lakes this summer. Have a great evening.